Hey, I'm Starlight Bricks. This is my review on LEGO Star Wars Set 75399, the Rebel U-Wing Starfighter. It is rated ages 8 and up and includes 594 pieces and 4 LEGO minifigures. The set was released in the early half of 2025 as an insane retail price of $70 USD. Knowing the fact of how my box is damaged from Amazon shipping, the front of the box looks really good with the Andor box art. It also has the U-Wing in a nice angle, and it has Yavin and Yavin 4 in the background. The box shows the starship landing on the Rebel base on Yavin 4, along with Cassian and Andor fighting off the ISB that's somehow on Yavin. But in the top right of the box, you can see the cool play features that this set has. Ignoring our horrible thumbtacks on the side of the box, the top of the box shows Cassian and Andor as a 1:1 scale. The rest of the side of the box don't really have much except for some more cool U-Wing art on one of the sides. Very nice. And overall, it's a really good box. It's kind of really short and stubby. It's a little chunky there. But besides that, it's really cool. Trying to ignore that $70 price tag. Let's see if the set's any good. And trying to ignore the fact that the 2016 U-Wing is a lot larger, retailed for $80, has 5 figures instead of 4 figures, and had about 100 more pieces, and overall has a way larger size. This set's gonna have a lot to look up to. Opening the box, you'll find 6 numbered bags, your somewhat thick instruction manual, and then a small, medium-sized sticker sheet. Now, I know the box looks pretty cool, but honestly, this set is not as cool. Don't get me wrong, this set overall looks pretty decently good, besides like a few different things. It's just, I'm trying not to be the one to compare it to the past version of 2016, but it's a downgrade. Like, I don't mean to be a hater or anything, there's such like little simple things that could have easily been fixed, and there's so many like minor things that could have made this so much better, but for some reason they just decide not to do those things, and this is what we end up with. Now, I'm not really a big fan of downsizing, but I understand downsizing, at least to a degree, and this ship definitely suffers from downsizing. It's just, even with the downsizing, the stupid choices that they decided to make don't make any sense. Before we talk more about this somewhat beautiful model, let's look at the minifigures. We have our Cassian Andor minifigure, and he looks pretty great. The color scheme is really nice, all the browns and the darkest gray contrast very well. The jacket has a very nice print design on it. No real complaints. The back of the figure is just the back of the jacket there, and the coloring is, yet again, very nice. This figure also has a very unique blaster to his figure. Well, it's not like a unique print or anything, but you know, it's a space blaster that just works for Cassian that matches the blaster in the show. And then also his face print, there is 2 of them. One, we have his usual kind of happy smirk, and the other side's a more angered, more focused type of look. And then also for his hairpiece, it's just kind of a ruffy hair. It works. My set actually came with 2 of them for some reason, but you know, it's what it is. Next up, we have our ISB agent here, looking very snazzy, nice, very printed armor piece, very nice legs, actually no bad design. He also has a shield and a blaster, very cool. The hat is also very neat. The back of the figure is just the back of the armor, but it looks nice, so there you go. Our next figure here is going to be K2SO, which is actually different from our 2016 version here. And he looks also just as good. I do not like how, like, immobile he is. Like, you can't really move him around too much. Can't really do much with him. The only thing that really moves is, like, the joint for the hips. And then the arms just kind of move up and down. But that's pretty much all you can do. But, yeah, torso print is nice. It works for what it is. And then on the sides of each arm here, you have the Imperial logo. Very cool. I like how they try to represent that the best they can. And then the head molding is actually very nice, but you can't move it or anything, so overall, very cool. Up here we have our most probably awful figure in the set, Dedra Miro. Very nice that she is included in the set, no complaints there. She looks really cool, it's just the leg printing is what really ruins it. She has the very nice ISB coat, and the white goes down to about midway between the legs, and obviously, besides how far down it is, which is also inaccurate, it's just the coloring is the white print on the black, and it just doesn't really show up that well, so it doesn't really look like a great figure. Other than that, the overall design is really good. It's just that printing does not really show up there. And you also have a little blaster hilt there that isn't fully connected, so that looks a little weird. And then the back of the figure, you obviously have just the back of the coat. It looks very nice. Got the belt there, some ruffles, very nice. And for her face print here, she has two. She has a more serious look, and then she has her pissed off look, which is very accurate, so glad that's included. And overall, all these figures are great, just except for Dedra's pants, which look awful. So, you know, if Lego actually did more layers of printing, maybe it'd actually look good, but since they didn't do that, that's what you're stuck with. Ones who are U-Wing gunship that can literally only hold like 1 or 2 figures. I know I'm hating on it, maybe just a little bit too much, because it's not that bad, but at the same time, it's pretty bad. I know I could even do better. I might need to do better. Screw it, I might be designing a playset version of a U-Wing Starfighter. Overall, the actual look of this thing is not really that bad. It looks like a U-Wing. Now, it doesn't really look like the perfect U-Wing, but it's definitely like, you can tell it's a U-Wing. I really like the more tiled off version, the more tiled look to it, so it gives a more slick design. It's just, the coloring is also really done super well. I like the more toned down yellow instead of the screaming bright yellow. I like that choice of color. I also like the hints of light gray. There might be like too much on the one side of it, but besides that, it's not really that bad. And then the bottom part of the ship there, I like the light gray coloring design. It just, obviously functionality wise, it's not the best. But overall, it looks pretty decently okay. It's not necessarily accurate, but at least it looks like the bottom of the U-Wing. Kind of by section of how the thing looks. The wings, honestly, pretty okay. I'm alright with them, no major complaints. Technically, the sloping should start way further back. But you know, since it's downscaled, the downscaling of the U-Wing kind of sacrifices a lot, especially if you want it to be closer to minifig scale. So if they just made the ship a little bit bigger, just like the 2016 one, it could be so much better. But we're not going to talk about the overall look of it, though. It looks alright. The cockpit area looks okay. The front section looks a little awkward. I do like the new piece that they used here, getting that kind of sloping, but it's inaccurate technically, but at least it looks decently okay. This back top of the exhaust or engine, whatever you want to call it, the actual reactor, it looks pretty okay. Nothing really too bad there, I guess. It looks alright, except for the behind the cockpit. This part looks awful. I don't know why they just want slope brick on the one side's complaining. Like, I know there's a play feature here, which I'll get into that later, but it looks bad. It looks very bland. Back to the actual engines, though. All 4 of them. Coloring, decent. Shaping, though, no. Especially when you look into the source material books. Well, actually, I'll reference that a lot today. They're not the wrong size, length, anything. I don't know where they got. They're just like, oh yeah, this looks pretty cool. We'll just go with that. Instead of actually looking at the source material. Because why would we do that? Whatever. This needs to be turned, but we'll talk about that later too. The actual back of the engines, though, I mean, it looks like a U-Wing. It's okay. The sloping on the back is not that bad. I wish they could have done something there, but it looks alright. So like I said, overall, I guess this part too is actually the glass here. I really, really like that technique. Doesn't really do much, though, because there's not really much inside of it, but we'll talk about that later. But, you know, the actual shaping of it's not that bad, I guess. Like I said, coloring is also pretty good. The hints of blue, it's great. So the front blasters here actually look pretty decent. I'm actually happy with that. Mostly. Just shot myself. Before I actually get into the main play features and stuff like that, and stuff that needs to be fixed, the sturdiness of this thing is quite insane. Honestly, the model itself is extremely light. And yeah, you know, downsizing and inaccurate sizes. But besides all that jazz, it's extremely light. Well, you can just pick this up and throw this thing. You can throw this thing a lot. I'm not gonna do that in this review, but you could throw it. Like, honestly, you bang this thing around the engines and everything, it's not really gonna fall out. Maybe some pieces would, but slapping it, dropping it. I've thrown it up in the air and caught it a few times, and literally nothing's fallen off. You can grab this thing anywhere. Maybe instead of the front of the wings, but honestly, you can a little bit. Don't do that. It's kind of insane. I'm sort of impressed. It's a little too sturdy. One more thing about the actual overall look of the ship is these engines, which are inaccurate. Okay, besides the actual overall shaping and sizing or whatever else, the other jazz, this part of it is just so simple to do. I don't understand why they don't fix it. The little gray things at the front of it just need to be turned. I don't know why they did vertical, but they're meant to be horizontal. Technically, I'll show you the actual sourcebook material as they go across, and then one part of it goes up or either down if it's on the bottom engine. It's that simple. We actually got this accurate on the 2016 U-Wing. Now, I don't know why the designer decided to do it vertically, but it goes horizontally. And honestly, just even moving them, you can see how much better they look and why the designer of the U-Wing decided to choose it that way, because it just looks better. Now I don't understand why LEGO has to do inaccurate with this. It's both inaccurate and the instructions and on the box that shows the designer actually chose to do it vertically, even though it's inaccurate when it's supposed to be horizontal. So literally, it's the simplest fix ever. Just turn it. But I'm gonna complain about it anyways because LEGO decides to do things that are inaccurate. We'll admit, for like everything that LEGO designs, I honestly think they just look at a picture and be like, yeah, it looks good. It looks pretty accurate. I swear it does. They don't actually look at like anything else that relates to the source material at all. The overall look of the actual underside is actually somewhat decent. I mean, technically the front windscreen or bottom viewport is accurate. It's actually meant to be only on the actual bottom half, not really necessarily. Well, there's some on the sides, but it's not as large section as we did in the 2016 U-Wing. But overall, the shaping is pretty decently okay. Like, no real major complaints there, you know. The old one was still better, but whatever. You know, this actually is meant to be a play set as much as the design is something. So let's see if it has play features or, you know, lack thereof. Get to basics out of the way. Of course, you have your cockpit to help fly the ship, and then you also have your spring-loaded missiles. To get these out of the way real quick, this front hatch has a little raised section, which honestly looks better when it's down, but doesn't really look bad when it's up either. And once you press down on the middle section, it'll fire both of them, just like so. So you can't really pick and choose on which one you want to fire, as they do both fire out of the center part there. Since the actual missiles are in the middle of the ship, it makes it a lot easier to aim. And honestly, these two side by side pack a punch. So we're going to hit our pain in the butt Dedra here in ISB agent. Total wipeout. I do really like that feature of the ship. As inaccurate as the cockpit is, I understand that it is a playset and it's going to be really hard to fit too many figures inside a cramped space like the actual ship does, unless you do like a UCS version or a custom cockpit, which you honestly should do. I'm just going to make my own U-Wing like I said earlier. Okay, but besides that, this cockpit is both the just standard like X-Wing Starfighter cockpit. This is, you can actually, instead of just opening it just like this or like pulling the side, which can be a little difficult for kids, I guess, so I can understand the understanding of why they include this. They also did it with the 2016 version. I'll just make a comparison video. But there's this little button thing here, and it kind of pops up the cockpit just ever so slightly, so it's easier to grab. You don't really have to worry about anything. So just like that. And there's like nothing here. And the stickered control panel that's all the way in the front that the character can't even reach because he can't even sit up in this cockpit. I need to stop complaining. Okay, so we're going to grab our minifig here. Honestly, the blaster doesn't really fit that well. You can make it work though, so it's not too bad. But just for the show purposes. There you go, you have just 4 studs, and there's no control panels on the side or anything, because, you know, why would we do that, even though it's just a basic thing to do? Okay, besides that, you just kind of put your figure there, just like so, and can't fit that way, so he lays down when he flies. He just sleeps, so easy. And then you close this. How is he even reaching the controls? But it's fine. I mean, see, he looks kind of dandy in there. Honestly, it looks kind of fire when you like look on it head on. But besides that, it doesn't make any sense. But it works. We actually go to the U-Wing's main feature, as we all know and love. We're going to go to the bottom section here. Now, this thing is actually very nicely tiled off. I do like the look. I also like the look of the viewport, how they managed to do that. You can kind of see between it, but it's not like super easy to do. But the actual concept is there, and I really, really like that. Coloring's fine. It works. There's your actual escape hatch thing they also use for the clear piece. Besides that, this is kind of hard to get into. But honestly, the back part here, or the top part up here, is kind of the easiest one to grab. Same on both sides. Just pull that down, and wow, there's your interior. Ignoring the fact that it's kind of hard to actually show the inside of the interior of the ship, which is also just a problem on its own, is the fact that K2SO can't even fit underneath the wings. That just shows how downscaled this model is. He has to duck to get inside, but you know, he can't even actually go inside there anyways, because there's no space. There's no, he can just shove him in there, he's just not gonna stay. So you just shove him in there and it works. All you get in there is 2 studs wide's worth of a seat, a little control panel built into the wall. I actually don't mind that part of it. And then 2 plates stacked on top of each other with a tile on top meant to be a box. I don't know what it's supposed to be. Whatever it is, I don't like it. It's really stupid. And also a quote-unquote gun rack in the back of it using that little stud thingy. But the blasters don't even fit? I'm so confused. The U-Wing, yes, it is a starfighter, but it is also a modified gunship that the Rebel Alliance uses on multiple occasions. I'm not going to get into the exact schematics of it, but technically it's a dropship. This could fit not even like one minifigure. It can even sit a minifigure full way up. I don't understand. Grab Cassian again because I don't want any Imperials inside of our Rebel ships. That's not very cool. Now this box is quote unquote removable, I guess. Because it just sits on studs. I don't even know what this is meant to be. It's kind of sad actually. So what we're going to do is just going to put that back because I guess it could fit 2 figures if you remove that, but you know, I don't know if you're supposed to remove that. Now, what you can do is you can take your minifigure. There's a little brown tile thingy there that you just put the minifigure on, but he can't even sit all the way up, so you gotta lean him back first, then put him on, because you know, he can't even actually fully sit up to use the controls that you put in front of him. In all seriousness, that's literally all you can fit. Maybe you can fit a second figure, but honestly, I'm not even sure you can. I'm gonna try, but 2 studs wide. This is genuinely insane. Well, I cannot wait to make this comparison video. I'm going to be clowning on this ship so badly. It's not even funny, but obviously when you close both sides up, it's not that bad, I guess. So like I said, it looks better on shelves, somewhat. But just overall, what is this? I do like the viewport, like I said. That part's cool, but that's about it. I'll save more stuff for the comparison, but you can't even use this front windscreen thing. It's just for decoration. The minifigs and the more sleek design of the ship, that are only 2 parts that LEGO actually did good with this set. There's just one more section, and that is the beautiful folding out wings that we all know and love. They actually did decent on this. To be fair, in scale with the rest of the downsizedness of the model, the wings are actually in good scale. Okay, so first, beautiful flight mode. Like I said, it's nice and sturdy, so you can kind of grab it anywhere. Just looks very slick, very nice. But then, when the U-Wing is not just in attack mode, it has a flight mode. We're not going to talk about the actual schematics, like I said. But it just kind of popped these out of a little ball socket joke. It's there. It has another ball socket on this side that'll connect to this back part. So when you move to take this out, it'll go just like so. Just like that. And it'll lock into place. That can kind of fun to play with. And then you do the exact same for the other side. And there you go. There's U-Wing in attack position. I forgot exactly what it was. But yeah. Honestly, it looks really good like this. And the cockpit area looks very short and stubby. But besides that, the overall size of it looks pretty decent. And it's not going to fall off or anything. So I like that. And then, of course, once you're done with that, you just kind of do this, fold them back in, and you're ready to go. See, it's kind of hard to show on camera here, but doing this at the exact same time and like folding it out as you fly the ship is so satisfying. But, you know, they just copied this design from 2016, so it's kind of hard to get wrong. Like I said, 2016 just might be better. I didn't really think I actually forgot to talk about this, and this is kind of a very important thing, is the sliding doors. They're not sliding doors on this model. As you know, the U-Wing's cargo slide doors go sliding back to the back. This doesn't even slide. This literally just pulls down. I get it. It's downsized. It makes it smaller, but like, come on. That's like the coolest thing in the U-Wing is the fact that the doors slide open. You did it right on 2016 model. Why is it gone now? Don't get me wrong. I do like that they tried to get the angle here. Maybe that's the only reason why. But like, come on. Really? Like, when you do this, minifigs can't do that. Like, what the frick? That's what I said. It doubles as a freaking landing gear at this point. Quick, I guess I'm gonna try to fit that second minifig in here, because maybe Cassian wants to talk to Deborah, because K2SO is not gonna work. So we're gonna get our beautiful, annoying Dedra Muro in here, and we're gonna try to... I don't think she will. No, if you try to fit her this way, like, as opposite to each other, because, like I said, the minifigs can't sit up in there. So it might be the only case where... Oh no. Oh no, what have I done? I can't be cuddling. What the frick? Get out of there. At least now the ship has landing gear. See, I'm giving this set about a 6 out of 10. It's just not that good. Overall, shaping, design, it's pretty alright. There's a lot of things that are wrong. Like I said, with even the engine thing is just completely stupid. The actual sizing of the engine, I just forget to mention that actually, is completely off compared to the source material. Yet again, it's such an easy fix, but you know, why would we do that? At least it looks alright. It looks like a U-Wing's engines. The wings function's really, really cool. They did that well again. The slick design, like I already said, pretty cool. The coloring, nicely done. The minifigures, besides Dedra's pants, pretty good. Overall, I'm gonna have to give this set about a 6 out of 10 because the play features, besides the spring-loaded missiles, everything else is pretty much bad. The cockpit can only really fit one minifig and they have to lay down. The bottom section can only fit one minifig unless they're cuddling. And Dedra and Cassian do not need to be cuddling. That is a no thank you. So overall, 6 out of 10. It's just... It looks alright. I'll give it that. It looks like a U-Wing. I like the sturdiness of it. I like the actual... how light it feels, so you can easily just swoosh it around, throw it around, and do all that kind of fun jazz. But the play features just aren't there. Like, there's not even a full box. You just get 2 slabs and then a tile on top. Like, what is this supposed to be? I don't even know. Also, I didn't even talk about the inaccuracy on the wings. I just used the black thing. It just looks weird instead of the actual in group. But, you know, besides everything I didn't actually talk about, like the stickers, which are actually okay. Definitely do not buy this for 70 bucks. I thankfully bought mine for 55 on sale, which is the usual 20% sales price that we keep getting now. I still think that's a bit too much. 55 is a fair price though. Honestly, I'd say for 4 minifigs in the build. The build's just not that good, obviously, but it's okay for what it is. Just do not spend over that though. So, like I said, 6 out of 10 for a pretty alright model. I'll take it, I guess. It still looks cool enough. I'll still use it. It's just... Dang. What we used to have was so great. Alright, Starlight Brick signing off. Have a good night, guys. You can sleep well knowing that Cassian and Dedra can cuddle inside the U-Wing. It's great.